I do. You're such a handsome boy. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out our channel. So today we're coming to you with Rory's 1 month update. I cannot believe he is already 1 month old. Our lives have changed so much in the last month. It's crazy, but it's been so good. I definitely won't sugarcoat it. The first couple of weeks were so hard and was a lot more than I anticipated motherhood being, but you know, we are now just a couple days past his 1 month mark, and I really feel like we are in a good groove of everything. So without further ado, let's jump right in and talk about Rory's 1 month. So I have a little notepad over here to the side, so if you see me looking down, it's mostly just because I took notes. I have no memory whatsoever, and that is like a legit thing. Like, I don't know if it's mommy brain or postpartum brain or whatever, but I have to write everything down nowadays. So anyways, Rory is currently, so I'm going to start with kind of his stats. And some of his stats are hard to get. So I measured him here at home, and we weighed him here on our home scale. I don't know how accurate our home scale is, because what we have to do to get his weight is Matt has to weigh himself, and then he holds Rory and then figures out the difference. So I don't know how super accurate that is, and Rory doesn't have a follow-up appointment until his 2 month mark. So at his 2 month update video, I'll give you a more accurate, but what we have, I'll let you know. So I'll give you some of his updates, and then I'll give you how I'm doing postpartum, and then I think I'm going to do a separate video for like our monthly must-haves, just so I can keep these videos short, sweet, to the point. Nobody really wants to watch a 30-minute long video. I know I don't. So, okay. So 1 month. Rory turned 1 month old on June 2nd, and so currently his height is 21.5 inches, and he is weighing in at about 9.8 pounds, which is phenomenal because at birth he was 7 pounds 6 ounces. So in the first month, 1 day short of Rory's first month, I did exclusive breastfeeding during the day, and at night we would have 1 to 2 formula bottles, mostly so that Matt could feed the baby while I tried to get a stretch of sleep, and that worked really well for us. And so in the beginning, for as natural as breastfeeding is, it comes with so many challenges, and I never expected to have them as many challenges as I had. Rory was a champ, and he latched like a king, but unfortunately I had some issues with my nipples being able to come out for him to feed. So I had to use a nipple shield while I was breastfeeding. And that gave him a shallower latch, so he was not eating as much, so he wanted to feed all the time. On average, he fed for about 30 to 45 minutes at each feeding, and he could feed anywhere between 1 to 2 hours. And so we made it to about the month mark before we kind of changed things up a little bit, and I'll explain that more in our 2nd month video now that he's kind of into his 2nd month. But basically we're doing hybrid bottles, so it's mostly breast milk, but there is a little bit of formula in the bottle to kind of match the ounces that he should be drinking at this point. And I'm no longer directly breastfeeding, just strictly pumping. But we'll get into that next month. So for his first month, I did exclusively breastfeed him. So, and I did pump as well. But for the first 2 weeks, he didn't have a bottle. So anyways, Rory is still in newborn clothing. He is about to outgrow them now, but for his first month, he was definitely in newborn clothes. and his feet are gigantic. I think he takes after Matt. Matt has size 14 shoes, and Rory's little feet, if he wasn't feeding, I would show you, but they take up the entire like foot of the newborn clothing. So yeah, he is still all scrunched up in that little baby, birth pose, which is so sweet. I love when I take him out of the car seat or the rock and play, and he's all like tucked up. It's so adorable. It makes me melt every time I pick him up. Um, and he is in newborn diapers still. We're using the Pampers Swaddlers. They are really nice. I know they're a little bit more expensive, but thankfully we did a diaper raffle at our baby shower, and I have been getting a lot of diapers like super discounted through the Facebook Marketplace. People that have babies that have outgrown sizes and they're just looking to, get a couple of bucks back on diapers that they're not going to use anymore. So we have pretty or so got strictly Pampers Swaddlers, but we do have some Loves and some Huggies, and so we'll use those because why not? Like, I don't want to have to buy anything I don't have to. But he's still in newborns, and currently his eyes are still blue. At birth they were kind of like a grayish color, and more recently they are very much so blue, which I'm very happy about because my husband has brown eyes, so I kind of assumed that brown was more dominant and that Rory would just automatically have brown eyes. But the great thing is he has mommy's eyes. They're blue. They're so handsome, huh, buddy? His hair is kind of hard to tell what it is. I think it's kind of like a strawberry blonde, but it definitely has a lot of red tinges to it. So I know that that can change because he's still so little. But right now it looks like we might have a strawberry blonde or a redhead on our hands, which is good. Matt's a redhead, and I think that that's the sweetest thing if Rory has red hair. Um, and the fun thing about him having red hair is his name is Red King, means Red King. So I think that that would be really cool. But um, currently, Rory's likes are his mommy. He is most settled in my arms. He likes to lay directly on my chest. This is his feeding position. And he'll lay like this without the bottle for Matt, but he will not do that for me unless I'm feeding him. For me, he likes to lay directly on my chest. And other likes that he likes is he likes to move. He is constantly kicking and, flailing his arms. And I knew he was a busy boy because even up until the week he was delivered, he was super busy in my belly. And I know that people say that as they, go further into pregnancy, closer to delivery, your babies really kind of like calm down and get a little bit more, inactive. Well, Rory stayed active till the day he was born. So I knew he was going to be a busy baby, and his limbs are proving that to be true. And then let's see, some dislikes. He doesn't have a ton of dislikes, but he hates the bath. He just absolutely hates it. It's miserable giving him a bath. I feel so bad. We're doing a bath about every 2 to 3 days, mostly 3 days, just because he hates it. But, I think we'll need to start increasing that because it's starting to get warm here in New Hampshire. So we don't want a sweaty baby. And then other dislikes is diaper changes. Oh my gosh. He screams bloody murder and then is like flailing his legs, so he's making the ordeal even longer of a process. And as soon as you get the diapers velcroed and you pick him up, he stops. It's like, I don't know. He's hilarious. So, and then last but not least for stats is for sleeping. He is pretty much sleeping 1 to 2 hours at a time in his first month. And that's to be expected with breastfed babies. They don't sleep as long as formula babies. So nights have been very hard. Thankfully, Matt was able to take the entire month off of May. So we had him home for the 4 weeks, which was a blessing. you go from being at the hospital who serves you 3 square meals a day. There's nurses there to help you. They offer to change the baby if you're like comfortable in bed. And then you come home and you have none of that. Obviously we have family and stuff like that, but it's not the same as having like an on-call nurse at the hospital. So, and then the amount of milk he's having is about 1 to 2 ounces in the first month at least. So that's currently his stats. And for me, for the first month, like I was saying kind of in the beginning, breastfeeding definitely was more of a challenge than I expected it to be. And, it's supposed to be such a natural thing, but I went into the whole process trying to be open-minded. But breastfeeding really is not for me. I am happy to pump and provide him the milk in a bottle, but I did for the entire month give him the direct feeding with a few bottles here and there. Most of the bottles that he did get were breast milk bottles, but I did introduce the bottle for him within the first month so that others could feed him, and also, like I said, so that I could pump the milk and give it to him directly. So that's that. For postpartum, in regards to that, well done. Good job, baby. In regards to that, I only, thankfully, I only bled for about 2 weeks of my postpartum. So they said that you could, have some bleeding for up to 6 weeks. And thankfully, I didn't. I was so thankful. And because I did not have any tearing during... No, thank you, Savannah. I'm telling you, these dogs always are like up on my stuff when I'm videoing. Savannah, no thank you. Because I didn't have any tearing during birth, my postpartum recovery was pretty easy. Willie, sit down. Relax. So yeah, my postpartum recovery was pretty easy because I didn't have any tearing. My bleeding really subsided pretty quickly. And yeah, I was able to have bowel movements right after having Rory. So I didn't really have any complications in regards to that. But in regards to postpartum depression or, moodiness, the first 2 weeks were really hard for me. Guys, you're moving the camera. No, thank you. Yeah, the first 2 weeks were really hard for me. I had a couple of times where I just like started crying over nothing. Like my mom asked me how I was doing and I just lost it at the kitchen table. And then there was another time where I really just was having a hard time with breastfeeding and I just like started crying on the couch, being like, I don't want to do this. This isn't for me. This is so uncomfortable. And thankfully my friends and family are so supportive because that is such a challenging aspect of being a mom and dealing with feedings and stuff. So thankfully I had the support of everybody and whatnot. But then I did take a couple of showers just to cry in the shower. I know that's so ridiculous, but it's like I don't like showing people that that I'm weak or that I have a weakness or anything. That's kind of a downfall with me. But it felt good to cry, and when I got out of the shower, I was fine. And that really only lasted the first 2 weeks, and, I think we're back to normal now. I'm filming this video, and Rory's 5 weeks. So it's 1 week past his first month, and, we're back to normal now. But the first couple of weeks were hard. And yeah, so that's basically it. I'm going to wrap this up so that we can have like a 15-minute video for you guys, not too long. So thank you so much for watching Rory's first month video. I'm going to insert some pictures from his first month after this and whatnot. And if you want to follow along in our journey for his monthly updates and, future mom videos and whatnot, don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the like button if you like these type of content videos. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos in this handsome little face, make sure to click the bell button so that you don't miss any of our videos when we post. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys!